Life is strange. Life can really throw you some curveballs, but life can also give you some moments and times in your life when you're just happy to be alive, that things just seem to be going in the right direction. And it's not just the way you deal with good times and how you handle good times, it's how you handle the pressure and how you handle those pressure moments in your life. That is so much more important. It's how you respond to things when things go bad. But this video is about the things that have happened in my life because I've stopped drinking alcohol. When sober life happens and you just live your life now with the idea that alcohol just does not mean a single thing to you. Either way, positive or negative, you just don't see it anymore. It's the start of a process, and that process is bringing yourself out of the habit, moving yourself forwards and building different habits, but changing your mind and changing your focus into a much more goal-orientated way of looking at things, getting rid of limiting beliefs and starting to bring in empowering beliefs into your life that you can do these things, that there is almost nothing that you can't do. So having that idea that alcohol does not mean anything to you anymore, in stark contrast to the idea that you're always going to be afraid of alcohol, that there is always that one drink that you're afraid of and you can never go back to normal drinking. As far as I'm concerned, there is no such thing as normal drinking. When you don't drink yourself and you look at other people who do drink, you see the addict. I never use the word addict on myself because I think it's a disempowering word. It creates limiting beliefs within your mind, and that affects then everything that you do. So I never use that word on myself, but you see the habit in play. You see how people are dependent on this thing. Even if they only drink once a week or twice a week, you see the dependence. So I never miss that. For me, alcohol is kryptonite. It's something that I would never bring back into my life regardless of anything. I can't think of a situation where I would drink alcohol again. There is also a situation where sober life is so good that you forget what the hangover process was like. You forget what the hangover was like. Kinda. In most instances, it's just been so long for me since I've had a hangover that it's difficult to remember. I remember certain things, like you remember a drink that made you violently ill, or you remember a time when you were violently ill. Maybe you remember the world spinning around in circles, but there are certain other things which you don't remember. And I'm glad of that. That's just part of the healing process, I think. When sober life is that good that you are constantly looking for ways to improve and grow. You're constantly looking for ways that you can move forwards and move into something better in your life. And you're planning for that. You're opening up your day bit by bit, slowly but surely, into something which is much better for you. When your sober life is that good that you're constantly looking for ways to improve and grow, that's part and parcel of, I think you start out with boredom, you start out with that enthusiasm for how can I grow, and you make a lot of mistakes in the beginning, but 1% improvements is all you're looking for, just those marginal gains, and you'd be surprised at how much you grow overall if you grow by small amounts like that on a daily basis. 1% a day adds up to a whole lot after a full year. When your sober life is that good that everybody else around you notices how much you have improved, how much your life has improved, how much you have improved physically. There's a certain shine that comes off people who have stopped drinking alcohol, if and when they're, just because they've stopped drinking alcohol, but because they're making so many other changes in their lives as well. And that's an important thing because it's a feedback loop. It's an important part of your motivation to move you forwards and to get to that best possible version of yourself. Sometimes you don't see the changes that you're making because it's very difficult to see, as I said, those 1% changes. But it's when somebody, for instance, hasn't seen you in a while and they say, my God, how much you have changed in such a short space of time. People don't see it in the beginning because I think the expectations of other people are that you're going to go back onto the alcohol. So it's very difficult for people to see that in the beginning, but it happens over time. When your sober life is so great that you just want to share, it starts out in the beginning, you really see the damage to yourself, you see the pain in your own life, and you don't want other people to go through that pain. And I think it's painful as you're going through the journey, because you start to understand that people don't want to know. There's certain people who don't want to see their own problems. That's one of the reasons why people will, some people will try and put a stop to what you're doing, even if it's in sneaky ways. Some people will. I mean, the people that truly care about you won't do that. And that's an important distinction to make. But there is an inbuilt need, I think, in most drinkers to see the people around them stop doing what they're doing. I don't ever want to see my family drunk, for instance, because I don't like the idea of what's happening inside of their bodies when they're drinking. But also, I don't want to have that image of them in that compromised state inside my own mind, in that drunken state. Do you get what I mean? So it's a difficult thing, that, for me. That brings me pain sometimes, and that there are certain times when I just have to leave my family, because I'll go out for a meal with them, and it gets to a certain time with them where I just think, yeah, that's enough, I'm going. When your sober life is so great that your dreams start to turn into reality, and in the beginning this can seem very far away, and it does happen very slowly. One of the big obstacles, I think, for people is to have those goals and to see how far they can actually go, because they've been wearing a mental straitjacket for so long that it's difficult to expand your mind, expand your thoughts outside of that, and to see how far you can actually push yourself. But it is those boundaries. I think the boundaries are good in the beginning because it gives you a sort of a safe space. You can grow this far, and you can push yourself to a certain degree. But as you move forward, you'll be surprised at how quickly those boundaries get broken down because of your own growing self-confidence and your own self-belief. And that is a fantastic thing, because I always judge myself, and I judge this journey and how far I'm going in my journey by my own expectations of myself. How far I can expect to push myself, how far I can expect to go next year and the year after. I'm in a country now where I didn't expect this to happen at the beginning. It amazes me now to think of how far I've come. But it is all because of those 1% improvements, trying to make 1% improvements in your life day after day after day, and your dreams will come into reality. You've got to be realistic with your dreams and your aims, but there is also a certain room for expansion within your dreams. That what you think you can dream now is very different to what you can actually dream, just because your ideas will expand, your expectations will expand, your self-confidence and self-belief will expand. So it's all good part of life. Watch this video next on how sober life can be absolutely amazing.